Good morning, and today we're going to look at chapter 13, which is the last chapter in Unit 5 about marketing. So today we're talking about digital marketing and social media. So what do we mean by e-business? It is basically carrying out the goals of the business through the use of the internet. Digital medias, they're the electronic function using digital codes via computers, cell phones, smartphones, or other digital devices that have been released in recent years. Digital marketing uses all that digital media, including the internet, the mobile, interactive channels, to develop a communication and exchange with customers. And it goes beyond the internet. Now, some of the benefits is it forges relationships with consumers and customers. You're able to target your market more precisely, and you can reach previously inaccessible markets, and it is a better network. This slide just shows you the characteristics of this digital marketing. So why do we want to use digital communication? It has improved and provided so many new ways of conducting business because we have instant communication with defined customer groups. We get closer relationships and we learn more accurately about what that consumer needs. It is relatively inexpensive. It can improve communications with and between businesses, and the internet markets versus traditional markets, they're more similar than they are different, but the dynamic nature of digital marketing can quickly create opportunities for challenges. One of the first things that you need to recognize is how digital media differs from traditional media in the marketing mix. You need to remember that the communications is much faster and it's more interactive. You can reach that target market more easily, affordable, and quickly. And it allows you to utilize some other resources that you wouldn't use when you're trying to communicate with customers. People spend more time on social networks than on email. So you definitely want to get yours out there on social network. And then achieving the right marketing mix is important in both digital and traditional media. Now, when you're talking about digital media in business, there are several types. We have paid media, and that refers to promotional content that a company will pay for. Owned media is content that a business publishes on channels and is controlled by the company. A good example of that would be Disney, because of course they own ABC and then or NBC. I'm not sure which one they own, but anyway, they can advertise and the channel is controlled by them. Earned media refers to content about a business or a product that a company did not pay for. And then we have consumers that post text and videos, images, audio, uh, also reviews of companies or products. These are called user generated content because generally they are what's word of mouth post or interactions. So you need to think about the product that you are putting on social media. Digital media creates opportunities to add services and benefits to your product. Some products are only available digitally, and they can offer more online than in retail. So the internet makes it easier to learn about what your consumer needs. You also have to think about your distribution considerations. The internet is a new distribution channel for making products available at the right time, the right place, and in the right quantity. Processing orders electronically will reduce inefficiencies, cost, and redundancy. Shipping times and cost are important to customers, and that is one of the biggest draws for Amazon. Is even though you have to pay for Amazon Prime, you get free shipping, and generally the shipping is 2 days at the very most. And now look at the trend toward omni-channeling, which is a type of retail that integrates the different methods of shopping available to consumers. For example, online, in a physical store, or by phone. Some of the promotion considerations that you're going to get with digital marketing: you're going to have an increased brand awareness. You're going to be connecting with consumers more quickly. You want to take advantage of those social networks to form relationships and generate positive publicity. Now, online promotions going to allow consumers to read customer-generated content before making purchasing decisions. And this is very, very important. This is those reviews. So those things are very important. Consumer consumption patterns are changing. You as a marketer must adapt promotional efforts. And then, of course, influencer marketing is on the rise. So we're still talking about the marketing mix. We've done, the product. Now we're looking at the pricing consideration. Again, it's the same thing as it was with the hard brick and mortar. Pricing consideration is the most flexible element of marketing mix. The digital marketing can enhance the value by providing service, information, or convenience, quick communications of discounts and sales. What it is deal websites. You can go and you can look at 3 or 4 different products that are being offered on different websites and compare prices. And then, of course, you still have the same thing, the coupons, the samples. And then, again, you have unlimited opportunity to compete on price. So some distribution considerations that you need to think about is processing orders electronically. They can reduce inefficiencies, cost, and then redundancies. And it's going to increase speed throughout that marketing channel that we mentioned back in chapter 11. It's also looking at omni-channel retailing, and what that is referring to is a type of retail that integrates different methods of shopping to consumers. For instance, online, in a physical store, or by phone. So that would be like a retail store. Say, for instance, you go to Kohl's. You can buy it online, you can go to the store, or you can actually call them up and place an order. So the increase in social networking is exponential. It is just booming every day. Adults spend nearly 2.5 hours on social media per day, and I would bet that your generation are probably spending a minimum of 5 hours a day on some type of social media. There's a couple of factors that you need to think out. There is a tendency for consumers to publish your own thoughts, opinions, and reviews through blogs or digital media. And sometimes it may not be something that's accurate. It's just they get to ranting and then they have damaged your reputation. And one of them that you guys probably use quite a bit is Snapchat. It has more than 31 million daily active users. And what makes it so appealing is that you send a photo, a video, or whatever to friends, and it disappears. It doesn't stay up very long, and so it is targeted to the young, highly engaged audience. The general age group is between 18 and 34. You also have YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. Users watch billions of hours of videos every day. The brands are outnumbered by consumers. And now they have moved into the premium YouTube TV. I know my husband doesn't do anything that he doesn't come log into YouTube and watch a video on it, because if you want to do something, how to do it is always on YouTube. Then you have TikTok, and it's a video sharing platform, and it's really a short form of mobile video. It has 8 million active users. It is most popular with the Gen Z and Millennium, and I haven't heard anything lately, but I do know that government agencies ban TikTok from any of their government-owned devices. Then you, of course, have LinkedIn, and that's the top networking site used in business. It's a business-led generator, and it does spread brand awareness, and it's used a lot for corporate recruiting. Then you have a blog, and a blog is a web-based journal in which writers will editorialize or interact with other internet users. You have wikis, and they create an interface that enables users to add or edit content to some of the type of websites. Now, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to tell you something. When you are doing a citation in any kind of a research paper, a wiki is not an acceptable citation because it can be edited. Then we have viral marketing, and it's a marketing tool that uses networks effect to spread a message and again to create brand awareness. And the purpose of this marketing technique is to encourage you, the consumer, to share the message with anyone that you know. You have video sharing sites, and basically anybody can upload videos. I use, and you'll find these there, all my videos that I'm making here are uploaded to YouTube, and then they'll be posted in Canvas. You have photo sharing sites, and that just allows you to bring in pictures to share. You have podcasts, and podcasts are convenient because you can listen or view the content of a lecture or something like that. And it's popular with your age group, you're 18 to 34. And this just shows you that it's a slide referring to Facebook. And although Facebook has declined somewhat in the recent years, it is still the #1 most popular social network that people use to connect with friends and family. So now let's look at digital marketing analytics, and that refers to the practice of tracking, monitoring, and analyzing how consumers engage with digital media to uncover actionable insights. And so what it does is it maximizes resources. It's going to minimize cost in social media marketing. And one thing you're going to hear a lot about if you go into the marketing field is KPIs, and that is referring to key performance indicators. And that's something that should be embedded at the very beginning of your social media strategy. And we're going to be looking at another slide. It's going to show you how this works. But there are comprehensive performance evaluations. Google has analytics, and it analyzes your traffic data, how you're connected. All right, this Google Analytics dashboard is broken down into separate reports. You have real time, you have demographics, you have engagement, you have acquisition, behavior, monetization, and then tech. And so you can look at this, and you can, this tool is going to allow you to identify your website's strengths and weaknesses and to help you figure out what are your opportunities for growth within your digital marketing program. So let's move to mobile marketing. Consumers are doing business more and more from mobile devices and smartphones. E-commerce sales on using smartphones is just exploding. It accounts for about half of total online sales, and it is essential for customers marketing to understand how that mobile tool creates effective campaigns. And this slide gives us some common mobile marketing tools. You have SMS messages, and I get those all day long from somebody sending me a coupon for a spa day or something like that. You have multimedia messages, which is videos or any kind of media. Mobile advertisements, we get those. Mobile websites. Location-based networks basically will help you. You say, hey, Google, where is the closest Target? And it'll help you find it. So let's look at application and widgets. And of course, applications are referred to as apps. And they're adding a new layer to the marketing environment. 81% of American adults have smartphones, and I would venture to say it's probably even more now. Companies are now using mobile marketing so that they can pull you in, they can hook you. They use QR codes to promote companies to offer discounts. And now, of course, the mobile payment is gaining traction. They use Apple Pay and Samsung Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, Cash App. So those are just some of the Cash App apps that you can use to make payments. So let's look at widgets. Now, a widget is a small bit of software on a website, desktop, or a mobile device that performs a simple purpose. They're used for all kinds of marketing. Users can download widgets and send to their friends. They can update the user on the latest company or product information. So what it does is it just gives you a better relationship between your firm and your fans. So let's look at digital media monitoring. Now what that does, it allows maximization of your resources, but the minimization of cost. What it does is it involves tracking, measuring, and evaluating those digital marketing initiatives. You will hear these two words in all of your business. Quantitative is a click-through rate, and it's also referred to as CTR. Qualitative is how your consumers feel about your product. Some key performance indicators, they're called KPIs. They allow almost real-time measurement and evaluation, and they are your foundation for changes. You have comprehensive performance values, and what that does is it requires gathering of all valid metrics. One approach is Google Analytics, and we don't offer Google Analytics, but we do offer a Excel Analytics class that you might want to take. And it is the Google Analytics is the most robust web analytical tool available. Marketing research. What that does is it gathers data on consumers and their preferences. Social networking sites can substitute for a focus group. So previously, you always had to have a focus group, and that would be a group of people that would come together and they would evaluate a product. They would give their feelings or how, they're good, the pros and the cons. But now you can use social networking sites. I do a lot of marketing research for books, and so I do it strictly online. I'll review chapters, and then I'm part of a focus group, and I'll say, no, this chapter isn't relevant, let's take it out. Different things like that. Online surveys can substitute for mail, telephone, or personal interviews. Then you have crowdsourcing, and that's the use of digital media to find out opinions or needs of a crowd or that potential target market. And it gathers and utilizes consumers' ideas in an interactive way when they're thinking about creating new products. And your consumer feedback is very important in part of this digital equation. Online reviews influence buying decisions of about 97% of company, but a lot of companies don't take full advantage of those digital tools. When I buy something off Amazon, I always look at the reviews. Now, you can take about 50% of them with a grain of salt because some people, you're not ever going to make them happy no matter what you do. So you just kind of look at your reviews, and then that will give you an idea of whether or not you want to purchase that product. And I'll give you a good example. I just bought a new smartphone. My phone just finally decided it would die. And I ordered it through Amazon because I wanted to pay cash for it. I did not want to finance it. So I went through and I did all my reviews. I found which phone I wanted and I ordered it. Then I also did a screen protector. Well, the screen protector, I put it on and it wasn't even a day and it was just cracked all to pieces. So I got a thing and it said to review it, and I did not give it a good review. There are legal and social issues of internet marketing. The internet and your social networks have generated so many legal and social issues for not only customers but for businesses. Privacy concerns, identity theft, online fraud, need to protect intellectual property. And so the FTC identifies the risk areas for online communications. So when you're thinking about your ethical and legal issues with digital marketing, probably there's two that are the most important that you need to always have something in place is identity theft, and that occurs when criminals obtain personal information that allows them to impersonate someone else in order to use the person's credit to access financial accounts that allows them to make purchases. One growing scam used to initiate identity fraud is the theft of phishing. And that's when a con artist counterfeits a well-known website. They will send out emails directing victims to it. So then when the victim goes to that website, then instructions they'll leave, like get your credit card number and different things like that, and allow them to be able to get your information. Online fraud includes hacking and credit card fraud. And as a social media maybe facilitator or director, this is something that you have to work on. You have to make sure that your website is secure. So privacy. Marketers can get vast quantities of personal information, and they generally will share and sell this information to third parties. A lot of it is collected without you ever even knowing it's been collected. Cookies permit tracking of how often users visit for sites and what they are looking at and in what sequence. Now, one thing that I found interesting is that the U.S. does not have a comprehensive consumer data protection law, but the EU does. They have the GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation, and it requires businesses to acquire permission from consumers in order to collect their data. Okay, so let's look at identity theft and online fraud. Identity theft is going to occur when a criminal obtains your personal information that allows them to impersonate someone else in order to use your credit or to even obtain financial accounts and make purchases. Organizations need to figure out a way to implement increased security measures. Phishing uses counterfeit or familiar websites to deceive people to divulge private information. And so when you're Googling and you're looking for a website, um, make sure that it is a legitimate website. Generally, it's not going to be the very first one. It'll be down the line a little bit, and then when you click on it, they got you. So be real careful with that. Online fraud is any attempt to conduct fraudulent activities online. Hackers will break into website and steal users' personal information. I know you've seen this. I think there's not a company that hasn't been hacked. And then they'll come back and they'll say, well, we'll give you credit protection and different things like this. What you need to do is to avoid giving out personal information and use different passwords. Credit card fraud is common online. Now, this next group here is something a lot of you probably don't think a lot about. It's intellectual property theft. Intellectual property can include songs, movies, books, and software. And it's generally protected by patents and copyrights, but it's difficult to enforce. We just had this come up in the news about a singer that was sued because they thought he had copied uh, the tune of somebody else's song. But that's uh, intellectual property. So digital marketing can make your business more efficient and productive, but it can be challenging. That means, and your generation won't have as much problem because you're probably going to have the skills that you can set up websites, but you may need to hire people to train your current employees. One thing you probably would like to look at is what is the correct blend that you need of traditional and digital marketing in that marketing mix. So marketing has a vast success rate on how our businesses are going to do.